MouseHunt. Welcome to Feedback Friday. It is, I'm going to look at a calendar. It's March 8th. It's March 8th. It's the day after MouseHunt's 16th anniversary, 16th birthday, however you want to refer to it. Hi, everybody in the chat. Hopefully, everybody is doing well. Matt was in bright and early. Hello, Matt. Glad to hear you like this song. Hey, Taraco, Salim, thanks for joining us. Hey, lady. Nutsy, good morning. Enjoying the party here with your coffee. Yeah, and then I think today is in the UK, they're doing a little get-together. There is a player get-together as well to celebrate 16 years of mouse hunting. Hard to believe. Welcome in, everybody. Jason, Sid, Crayon, Kenneth. Hello. Well, today I thought we would look over the spring egg hunt a little bit. Quick reminder about the birthday event as well. The Super Brief Factory will be closing on Tuesday. So keep that in mind. There'll be a 1-week shutdown. You'll be able to pump one final crate or basically finish any in-progress crate that you have. So if you're close to finishing, you can finish one more. If you're sitting there on the claim interface, I don't think you can pump one more after that. It's only if you're in progress you can finish pumping a crate. The things will still be in the shop. The shops to purchase with the various parts, the golden tickets. You can cash all those out. You'll be able to smash any excess parts into some party charms, which I think you can already do right now, to be honest. Good morning, Ralph. Welcome on in. Nil, hello, fellow hunters. Hello to you. But that was a quick touch base on the birthday event. The Super Brief Factory doors will be closing on Tuesday, but you will have 1 week to cash out. And as always, I encourage people, don't leave it to the last minute, though. Make sure you spend your golden tickets, buy your parts, do what you have to do. Why am I in the printer room today? This is my office. I got a printer behind me, I guess. Well, it might be a good segue into the spring egg hunt, because actually the devs were all getting together to have lunch together today to celebrate as well. So I better keep things a little bit short. I'm going to have to hit the road probably in 45 minutes or so as well. So I'll have to be cognizant of that. Hey, Vivi, welcome on in. Well, we have the spring egg hunt coming. That's going to follow the birthday event. It runs from March 19 to March 16. Makes it one of the game's longest events, pretty much. I mean, the Great Winter Hunt might also give it a run for its money. But the spring egg hunt is a fairly long event. There's certainly a lot of eggs to find. It's one of those events as well. You know, if it's not quite your cup of tea, it does sit in the background a little bit. It's kind of like a bonus loot event if you don't go too far out of your way to take part in the spring egg hunt. This year there's going to be 11 new eggs to find, and pretty much every single one of those is going to be in the beanstalk. I think there's one exception where there's one egg that won't be in the beanstalk. But there'll be lots of new eggs to track down. You might see a few of them hinted at behind me here in some of the art that the art team put together. I think this is going to be the fan page banner when the event starts. Yeah, KDM, welcome on in. Mari, is your opinion, is it possible to get all the eggs in the hunt, as in all of them in one single year? I think it's technically possible. It is certainly a big challenge. If you're looking to get those 11 eggs, I'd say that's quite easy to accomplish over the course of nearly a month. Pew Pew looking ahead to see, yes. So we are taking the opportunity with this update, as we spoke before on other Feedback Fridays when we were looking at Lunar New Year, and that was the last time the Valentine's Matchmaker event was going to run. Those Valentine's mice have been given some new homes. They've been repurposed. They've been moved out of the event mouse category into areas such as the town in Narnia. The training grounds has one of them. Where else did we go? The bazaar. The art has been kind of tweaked and adjusted a little bit. I can show that in a minute as well. The glitch paw is going to become one of the laboratory experiments. That said, we may keep that around if we ever want to release it in the way it exists right now. We may keep that around so it can become a small little mini event for a day or two after some downtime, something like that. But hey, if you're just looking to work on a King's Crown, add it to your collection, that sort of thing, we're going to add it as a lab experiment mouse. The Hope mouse as well will be moved into the Feroma followers as well. Just kind of tidy that up a little bit, change a few descriptions as well. And the Lucky mouse might be one more mouse we're looking to move into. It'll still stay an event mouse, but we're going to repurpose that mouse, but probably a little later in the year when maybe something else is going on. M1K maps, and that's another good point, and we'll get into that in a minute as well. So with the spring egg hunt, there's actually a few things you're going to be releasing with the spring egg hunt, kind of during or after or immediately following the spring egg hunt with the M1000 mouse to mark 1000 non-event mice. Basically, the School of Sorcery is going to cross that threshold. So much like we did with the M400, there'll be the M1000. And there's a new scroll case to begin researching just how to start the journey towards the M1000. The M1000 mouse will not be out with the spring egg hunt, but you'll be able to start to prepare for it, is maybe a fair way of phrasing it. Scratching dude, there's no plans for a leprechaun egg. No, alas. Good morning, Roger. Russ, welcome on in. Pew asking, will the help mouse attraction rate be up? Not very much. We did kind of just tweak things a little bit, but it's still a rare mouse. Let us upgrade party charms to super party charms. They do roll up, but when you buy them in the shop, you can choose which tier you want, but you can't upgrade them directly, unless I'm mistaken here. So if you go to the charm shop in the Super Brie factory, when you go to cash out your excess parts, you can choose which tier you want, but you cannot upgrade them directly, no. Is the Eggstra Fondue like the lunar lanterns? That's an important point as well. Maybe I'll switch over to show you what's going on. We can touch on a few things. But yes, so the Eggstra charms and the extra charge charms are being replaced with Eggstra Fondue. That functions in a similar manner, and we'll start with that. So Lady Laura's interface has been updated to have Eggstra Fondue, and so your charm slot is now free to use for whatever you like. Whether you're in the iceberg and you're using wax charms, maybe a shattering charm would be awfully nice to be able to use as well. You can use it to help out your catch rate. Maybe you're in the beanstalk and you need a powerful charm just to help you catch mice. You can do that while still benefiting from extra effects. Now they have been combined. You're going to be able to exchange extra charms and extra charms into Eggstra Fondue. That's a bit of a tongue twister saying extra that many times in a row. And basically aligns with some design objectives that we have going forward to free up the charm slot to let you help you capture mice, and any special effects, putting that somewhere else. So again, you're free to use your charm slot for something to help boost your catch rate. So you can turn on your Eggstra Fondue, and it's pretty well like you have an extra charge charm armed. Minus the extra charge charm did have the rift set bonus, so you won't have that. That said, it's not very hard to come up with a rift charm to fill that slot to give you that bonus again. So I thought that was an okay compromise to be made. It does give you one chocolatonium every single time you capture a mouse, no matter what. So that is one new effect that the fondue has that the charms didn't have. But then, as expected, if you find an egg, and hey, we did, I got 2 instead of 1 because I'm using Eggstra Fondue. And similar to the extra charge charms, for every egg that you get as a loot drop, you find 1 chocolatonium as well. So this is a good example. I got 2 lavish lapis bean eggs to drop. The Eggstra Fondue, it just always finds 1 chocolatonium, and then on top of that, you get 1 for every egg that you find. So then I also found 2 chocolatonium because I got an egg. And I'm on a roll here. I'm getting a lot of eggs in a row. I'm in a pretty good room. I'm trying to not get an egg. Oh, here's a good example. I got 2 over 9,000 eggs. 2 lavish eggs. So that ended up with the 4 bonus plus the 1 you always get. Whereas if you turn that off, it'll stop doubling the egg drops. But stops doubling the egg drops. You stop getting the purple journal entry. And yeah, here I just got 1 egg to drop instead of 2. Potato asking, are all these changes taking place with the March 19th update? Yes. So the changes to Valentine's mice, they just kind of all got rolled up into the spring egg hunt, just how the way timing worked out. It made sense to release them with the spring egg hunt. And we thought that was fairly good timing as well, and that the egg hunt is an event that takes place throughout the whole kingdom. So you can go, and if you want to capture some of those old Valentine's mice or repurpose Valentine's mice, glitch paw, hope mouse, all that, there's some good overlap there with the spring egg hunt. Eileen's listening to me at 2 times speed. Well, hopefully I'm no longer speaking like a chipmunk, but I'm probably speaking in fast forward mode for you still. Scrib, welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Welcome on in, Zapke, as well. Hello to you. Swift, there you go. You can upgrade your party charms with promotion potions. There you go. Coming through with important strategy. So when Halloween comes around, if you're looking to upgrade your party charms or your snowballs for that matter, and spooky, if that's the route you want to go, promotion potions are a good way to do that. What do we do with the extra charms on hand? I mean, I'm getting caught up on chat a little bit. So you will be able to exchange them for Eggstra Fondue. Scrib, yeah, exactly. You got the right idea. It's kind of along the lines of Champion's Fire, Condensed Creativity, Tower Mana, all those things where you can activate it without having to have your charm slot taken up by it, so you can use your charm slot for other things like helping you capture mice. So if extra charms only activate when eggs are looted, does Fondue get consumed every hunt? Yes, it does get consumed every hunt. And when we looked at the breakdown of people using extras and extra charms, basically it painted a very clear picture that the extras did not get used very much. So that was pretty clear feedback that they weren't very popular, weren't being used very often. So we leaned towards the extra charge charm. Basically what it did is now replaced with the Eggstra Fondue. If you have any leftover charms, you can convert them into Eggstra Fondue, but they will not work. If you arm them in your charm slot, they'll basically sit there doing nothing. Yes, Scrib asking if we smash them. I think that's the route we went. Actually, now I'm nervous. I haven't looked at it in a few days that I could be misremembering here. But I'm pretty sure we used the Hunter's Hammer for that. I think that's what ended up making sense. Welcome on in, Math. Pew, is it guaranteed 1 per hunt or 1 per catch? I'm pretty sure it's 1. You know what? Let's test it. Let's find out together. All right, I'm going to arm the wrong power type. Let's do it. All right, we're going to use Arcane in the Beanstalk. I'm going to see what happens. Let's fire this up. There you go. It's 1 per hunt. You don't even need to capture a mouse. These bonus hunts are coming in pretty consistently here. There you go. I even got a red box. Still got a Chocolatonium. So it is 1 per hunt. Swift, do you think the extra charms were used less because they were more expensive? That was always confusing as well. Kind of year after year, the Egg Hunt would go live, and the extra and extra charge charms were available in Lady Laura's shop, and the extras were more expensive than the extra charge. And sure enough, we'd get a bug report every single year saying, excuse me, I think there's a problem with the event. It was even confusing enough. I think one year a dev fixed it, thinking it was an error and had to get put back the way it was. Yes, because the extras only consumed when you found an egg, you would go through them extremely slowly, and that's why they cost more Chocolatonium. But, you know, again, this kind of cleans it up. There aren't two things that do almost the same thing. Even when we've been logging the usage of those charms for a few years, and 99% of the time people are using extra charge, not the extras. So that was pretty clear feedback that there wasn't a whole lot of interest in them. And so if we could reduce the complexity, you know, only have one item that does something and has a more clear identity, than having two things that almost do the same thing. And sure enough, year after year, we'd get bug reports and questions and people confused about what do the two things do. Hopefully this kind of remedies that and clears up any confusion. Is the chocolate bar base effect with the chocolate fondue still a chance for triple eggs? Excellent question, Nicholas. I almost forgot about that, but yes, indeed. And we have had to tweak the description of that base a little bit. Did I start with it or do I need to buy it? I gotta buy it. Let's go buy the chocolate bar base. But we were testing that just last week. And yeah, the description got updated to mention Eggstra Fondue. Let's buy this. I got lots of Chocolatonium right now. Here's a test. Did this appear? Ooh, all right, good. So now we got the chocolate bar base armed. We're using some Eggstra Fondue. I think this timer might have to get set up, actually. Uh-oh. I'm missing mice. So that is one compromise you make when you're using this. I think I'm going to up the ante on the charm a little bit. Let's use a better charm. The chocolate bar base is not as good as that prestige base was. Let's see if we can get an egg to drop. Maybe the boss drop. We'll get tripled here. 2 Dungeon Master eggs. All right, it's only a chance to triple, so it didn't happen to go off. Let's try again. You know what? Let's do it. We'll load up on this. I was hoping to find a really good room to start, but alas, not meant to be. Let's see if we can find a triple drop. Helps if I use better cheese. There we go. 3 Royal Ruby Bean eggs. So yes, the chocolate bar base still has that chance to triple as well. And look at that. It is time to sound my actual real horn in the live game. Let's take care of that. KDM is M1000 part of the School of Sorcery. It is part of the Mythweaver's storyline. And actually, we'll shift gears shortly to look at the M1000 as well, as it does tie in a little bit with the Spring Egg Hunt. Lady Laura has discovered some intel, has been able to use Chocolatonium to do a little bit of research and help hunters research the best way to hunt the M1000. Potato, no red box egg this year, contrary to recent speculation. Are there any less expected eggs? You already hint at. Generally, sometimes it's fun in moderation, but typically, at least I don't gravitate towards any sort of collectible or achievement where you have to sabotage yourself, if that makes sense. Sometimes you're playing a game and there might be an achievement to, I don't know, fail spectacularly, and in moderation they can be fun as long as it's something simple enough to do, like, oh, that was kind of neat and put a smile on my face to do something silly. But anytime, if they take a long time and you're encouraged to basically fail on purpose, you're the hero of the story. You shouldn't be trying to do that. It feels very opposite to what you should be trying to achieve. So those always sound a bit odd to me. Nancy, welcome on in. 10 and 11 of the new eggs are already confirmed from the beanstalk. Indeed, there are 10 beanstalk eggs. One of them maybe celebrates some of the history of those previous Valentine's mice. So that's even a fun way. If you haven't got all those old Valentine's mice, or you want to finish a King's Crown you're close to, that might be a fun time to do it, is during the Spring Egg Hunt. I think you might be able to pick out which one of those is love-themed behind me there, or above me. The goose egg. Yes, indeed, there's a golden egg. And I think the art team had some fun with that illustration. I think you can see it above me, actually. That was pretty obvious which one that is. And especially like how there's another pillow inside of it, and the pillow is going up the glass egg. There's a recursive egg going on. Summer, is there a way to change the random mouse on your profile? No, but if you make a Gravatar account, you can set it to whatever you want. Feel free to grab a screenshot or a crop of the game's art if you want. Grab whatever mouse you want. Just take a square cropped image of it, and then you can just upload it and use it as your display picture. So that's kind of how you can use whatever picture you like. You can set as your display picture that way. Scratching Dude, wasn't the Hope Mouse already a permanent mouse in the training grounds? Are you missing something? It sure was. And so it's been made official. It was still in the event group. So this just kind of cleans that up. We've also added it to the bazaar as well, so there's more than one place to hunt the Hope Mouse. But we can kind of go over that. See, the Glitch Paw is a laboratory experiment. Again, in Indigenous, there is a group called the Shiny Seekers, and we've moved the Burglar and the Master Burglar there because they like gilded cheese, which may also hint at how you're going to hunt some of these other mice as well that are now in the Indigenous group. The Totally Not Tax Fraud Mouse is the rename of the Totally Not Bitter. The Melancholy Merchant it was the Forever Alone Mouse. And then Romeo, and Julius, they've remained. Some of their descriptions as well have been tweaked a little bit to give them a bit more narrative into where they're landing. I think where was called the Wild Bunch. Where's the Wild Bunch? There we go. So the Gentleman Caller has been moved to Clawshot City. A little bit of that character's backstory has been rewritten in its description. It is now part of the Wild Bunch. And I think that covers everything. Yeah, followers of Feroma. There's the Hope Mouse in there as well. But like I said, you can also get at the bazaar after this. The Cupid Mouse as well will be in the training grounds, kind of practicing its shot a little bit, doing some archery. So it's been moved to the followers of Feroma as well. So that kind of changes some of the mouse count totals, as some of them have moved out of the event group now, which seems fitting as well, as the M1000's around the corner, as we change some of those mouse totals. That golden goose egg it's quite excellent. I agree. That might be a good segue into some details on the M1000 because it's going to tie in a little bit with the Spring Egg Hunt and eventually the School of Sorcery as well, which will be coming out after the Spring Egg Hunt. Using chocolatonium, Lady Laura has made this discovery as well. There'll be a little bit more info on that forthcoming. She discovered the Mythweaver's latest plan, and it involves a mouse called the M1000. It's a robotic creation. It's in the process of being activated. And so during the Spring Egg Hunt, you're going to be able to get started on some research on how the best way to hunt the M1000 will be. So you'll be able to take part in that during the Spring Egg Hunt. As soon as it goes live, that will start just the first step along the journey. Hopefully as well the timing works out because the Egg Hunt is an event you can participate in throughout the whole kingdom. It's a very lengthy event as well, and some of the research that you're doing is going to take you across the whole kingdom to track down some supplies to be prepared to hunt the M1000 when it is activated. So the M1000, again, to be clear, it's not coming out with the Spring Egg Hunt, but you're going to be able to start collecting some supplies to be ready to hunt it once it is activated and ready to be hunted. Is the scroll case purely for M1000 or does it have event loot like Fondue? So it is not an event map whatsoever. It's being introduced with the Spring Egg Hunt and it'll be part of the history of this item, but it does not help you in the Spring Egg Hunt. There's no Fondue. There's nothing, no eggs, no kind of Spring Egg Hunt theme stuff inside of there. This will be a permanent addition to the game. You'll be able to obtain one of these scroll cases during the Egg Hunt, and then after the Egg Hunt, you'll still be able to obtain them, but you'll obtain them in a different way. So this is arguably probably an easy way to get this scroll case during the Spring Egg Hunt. Once the Egg Hunt ends, this will become permanent content. So even if if you're on vacation for the next 3 months, well, congratulations, that sounds like a pretty fun vacation to be away for 3 months. But even if you're away from the game during the entirety of the Spring Egg Hunt, there will be a way to get this scroll case afterwards as well. But this is just kind of celebrates. It is a way. Its initial introduction will be through the Spring Egg Hunt. Matt's trying to figure out how to open up that golden egg. Yeah, the golden goose egg. That is an amazing art. I agree. Jacob has outdone themselves once again. I can't believe it. Especially if you look at some of the stuff in high res, there's a lot of fun little details. And actually, it might not be too hard to guess what the treasure chest looks like, or what image over there is the treasure chest. It's holding something very, very special in the mouth of that treasure chest, which is an absolutely ingenious way of illustrating that. What is a chocolatier doing with important intel on the mass destruction device? Well, she's a bit of a scientist, Lady Laura, working with chocolatonium. There's a little bit of science went into activating the M1000. So there's been a bit of a electrical disturbance detected throughout the network of chocolatonium that maybe signaled, hold on, what's going on here? Why is all this power being drained? It seems like somebody's getting ready to activate something very powerful, and it's resonating through the chocolatonium. Can you have a normal map open together with the M1000 scroll? No, you cannot, Camel. So it is like any other non-event map in the game. And again, to be clear, it's not a map for the Spring Egg Hunt. It is being introduced. It happens to be introduced during the Spring Egg Hunt. But after the Egg Hunt ends, this will be a permanent addition to the game. You'll always be able to hunt the M1000. It's not an event mouse. It ties in closer with the School of Sorcery, which will be around the corner. And you'll be able to obtain this scroll case in the future from the School of Sorcery rather than through the Egg Hunt. That said, you'll be able to obtain one single one during the Egg Hunt. That might be good as well. I want to share that information early. When you do get one of these scroll cases, if you have a team that you typically like to work on maps with, you only get one of these, so maybe don't open it right away. You might want to message your map mates a little bit and coordinate. Okay, who wants to open theirs first? Just that's the nature of maps. But hey, if you're an experienced mapper, I'm sure you're used to coordinating those that sort of thing. Is there a rank requirement for the M1000? Yes, it is a Viceroy mouse, which means you'll need to be a Viceroy to kind of fully finish everything when it's all rolls out. That said, you'll be able to get a start on this The map does have some lower level mice on it as well, so you'll be able to invite some friends to help you out to finish the map. But the scroll case itself has the title restriction of Viceroy, so you'll be unable to open it unless you're a Viceroy, but you will be able to be invited to other people's maps to help them finish theirs. But generally, you can't open up a scroll case unless you can finish the whole thing by yourself, so you don't get stuck. Final Draft Derby, the sequel. Swift, you're getting warm. Somewhere hidden back there might be some familiar looking cheese that looks a little bit more epic. Will this mouse form a new adventure? Asks Hey, no, there will be no adventure tied to the M1000, but it is part of the School of Sorcery long term. Sid, can we hit more than one scroll case? Initially, no, but afterwards, yes. You can, so like I said, it'll be a permanent addition to the game. You can almost think of it a little bit like Slayer or the Lightning maps in a way. There's a way to get this scroll case, and it just might be a little bit more tricky to get your hands on than some of the other scroll cases in the game. But there'll be one in Lady Laura's shop for completing a shelf. Shackwood asking, will there be a new Relic Hunter season? So there are no plans to do another Relic Hunter season. 10 is going to be the finale of the Relic Hunter season, but that might be getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. That'll be much later in the year. We're looking to just kind of overhaul that a little bit, reimagine what the identity of that is, and just phase out those limited edition rewards and replace them with something else. Is it 5 map slots? Iggy, that is a fantastic question. Actually, here, let's just dip our toe into the shallow end of the pool here a little bit. So I might just so happen to be on one of these maps right here. Ooh, the interface is a little cut off there, but what are you going to do? So it is the M1000 Team Research Expedition that you're on to begin the journey of learning how to hunt and attract the M1000 mouse. And it is a rather challenging map that, yes, it is you and 4 of your friends. So it is a 5-slot map. The rewards might be things to help you continue doing these maps or even looking ahead a little bit. You get the expected gold points, ancient charms, things you would expect from a map. It's kind of might feel a little bit on the tier of the Slayer and the Lightning level of difficulty. And there's something very unique as well that you're going to get from this map. Will there be incentive of doing multiple of these maps, a team round robin, for example? It kind of depends on your individual goals, what goals you like to set for yourself, for sure. But there's definitely, I'd say there's good reason to do it more than once. But maybe not everyone has their targets quite set on that goal. If you're just looking to complete the mouse collection, then just doing one of these will be sufficient. But if you're really looking to take things to new powerful heights, then you'll probably want to be doing quite a few of them. Swift, is the map similar in difficulty as Elite Slayer maps? It certainly has a Slayer vibe to me. But we might wait to see when everything comes out and kind of how that plays out with the narrative into the story of the M1000. Lady, when will we fix tournaments? Unfortunately, it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. It's the type of thing, there's no fixing it. It's kind of has to be rebuilt from scratch. And it has been very difficult to just have the resources. It's one of our main challenges. And often just the frustration we have is there's only so many of us. And it's kind of a small team maintaining a rather large project means often we're just stretched thin. And we just don't have time to do everything we wish that we could. So it's on our radar. It's something that comes up in conversation, and we're looking for that right opportunity where we can make it happen. It just isn't feasible. There just aren't enough hours in the day for us to rewrite tournaments from scratch. Iggy, do we need to complete the map every time you want to catch the M1000? We might have to wait and see. Like Lady Laura has done a little bit of research there, but you may have to wait till the spring egg hunt starts to learn all there is about hunting down the M1000. Does fondue consume even when we fail to catch? Yes, but it does produce chocolatonium even when you fail to catch, Daniel. Hey Nathan, welcome on in. Glad to see you're excited about hunting down the M1000. The horn looks great. We almost overlooked that. The horn skin, the themed horn does look pretty darn nice for the egg hunt, doesn't it? Pretty sure Jacob did it. I think Jacob illustrated that. I always hesitate. I don't want to give credit to the wrong person, but I'm fairly certain he's been doing the horde illustrations. Swift crowning the M1000 is going to be a nightmare. Wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see what we learn during the month of April or during the spring egg hunt, just how to track it down. But it'll be a challenging crown, but it might not be as bad as you're anticipating, or as challenging as you're anticipating. We'll see. It's time to sound my horn again. Let's do it. What are we going to get? I think I'm working on a map. I might need to move around a little bit. I haven't been paying attention for the last hour. 2 Force Fighter Blue in a row. When the map is completed, does it enable all participants to chase the M1000, or is the M1000 a mouse on the map that can only be caught by one participant? These are good questions and feedback. We don't want to go too far into the world of spoilers because there will be some fun things to have to figure out when it comes out. But it's great reading questions as well while we're just kind of putting the finishing touches on things. While there's still a little bit of time to tweak and tune before it's released. These are great to this is what I like sharing on Feedback Friday, to get that initial impressions, which helps us just kind of dial a few knobs right at the end there. Just put the last finishing touches on a few things before the brush goes down. But just, I think it's okay to say, to clarify, the M1000 won't be a mouse on the map itself, but completing the maps will reveal how to go and hunt that mouse. Sonny, will there ever be a way to get the fan base outside of Facebook? You don't have an account anymore. Would be happy to like or promo some other source. Yeah, no immediate plans right now. I'll admit it's a little antiquated, the fan base. Kind of as we look back on 16 years of the game, it has a very antiquated history of a different era of the game when it was a Facebook game. So that would be nice to tidy up that loose end. But no, for now, that's kind of its identity, is it's a reward for liking the page. That said, if you ask around, there's probably a way to get that without it, but I think you still need to be playing the game on Facebook at least to claim it. But certainly you don't need to like the page to claim it, but you do need to be playing from Facebook. There you go. Swift Jacob drew it live. Beautiful. All right. Matt, it's been a fantastic 16 years, or 15 for you. Started playing when your daughter was born. She's 15 and in high school now. Well, there you go. It's easy to mark an important milestone in life as well. You'll be able to easily remember when you started playing. Well, that's nice to hear, Matt. Gordon, will there be an aura for a new map? We better maybe stop going too... I might be careful about how far I go in. I will say... that you won't get an aura from opening the treasure chest. I'll just put that out there. And in some ways, too, the M1000 it's an epic mouse. It's tied to Viceroy level difficulty. There's a little bit of complexity on how you hunt down this mouse. It is one of the more complex mice to hunt. That said, once you get the hang of it, I think you can really go off to the races a little bit and be hunting it well. There's a good opportunity to get really good at hunting this mouse. That said, though, I like to share little tidbits of information to hopefully alleviate any potential confusion when it does come out, because it's a little involved. You're going to have to, do your homework a little bit and track down one of the hardest to capture mice, or hardest to find mice, at least. I can say there's no aura when you open the treasure chest, but you might be able to find an aura in some other way out there by tracking down the M1000. That might be a good little information to get out there, because typically auras are things that you get when you open up treasure chests if they don't come from events. So just to make sure no one's confused when they crack open a treasure chest thinking an aura is going to appear, doesn't mean that there might not be another way to get an aura. MouseHunt can drive now. There we go. Sweet 16 MouseHunt to go for his driver's exam. What time are we looking at? 11:30. I should wrap up a little bit. Let's see if we can get caught up on chat a little bit best I can. And like I said, we're having a little company get-together. Going out for lunch to celebrate ourselves, see everybody in person again. It'll be nice. Ryan, do we need to dust the map? You don't need to dust it. Typically, though, this is the type of map you're probably going to want to dust, right? It's kind of like Slayer and Lightning maps and those high tier maps that have very valuable rewards associated with them. I would think 9 times out of 10 or nine out of 10 people would agree I'm probably going to dust that map, but you don't have to. You can just do a regular map and you get very similar rewards. It's just get fewer rewards, and so you can just choose to maybe do twice as many maps as normal to kind of end up in the same spot. Question: any plans to release a Norse-themed area? Sometimes we draw inspiration from real life things. I get a little bit nervous about making them themed too tightly after specific kind of cultures or anything like that to make sure we represent things well. That said, of course, there's inspiration from mythology and what have you, but no immediate plans there. Scratching, dude. John, presumably there will be parallels between the M1000 and the M400 maybe in narrative a little bit, but there'll be no library assignment involved. Hey, Meyer, hope you're doing well. And thanks for the kind words. Potato, the aura wasn't in the treasure chests. It was in the mice we missed along the way. YX, when is the planned release date for the School of Sorcery? So we're still tuning that up a little bit, and maybe I'll pull up a slide from a while ago here. So we kind of have a bit of a rough timeline, a rough roadmap, and we can kind of see where we are. And already, hey, as I always say, take things with a grain of salt. They're tentative plans. They're goals that we have, but they're not promises, and they're not things that are set in stone. And it's just kind of the goals. That's how you achieve things, is you got to set goals and see if you can meet them, right? And we've already had to tweak this a little bit. So 2024 came along, and we had Lunar New Year, and we had a codex overhaul. Having trouble pointing at it. We've had the birthday event, which is going to be ending on Tuesday. Make sure to cash out all your stuff. The spring egg hunt is around the corner. We've already spoke a little bit about the M1000, and you can see that purple and gray sketch. That's the original sketch of the M1000 Jacob was working on. And then there's something that, I don't know, it kind of looks like a magical school to me. So that might paint a picture of when to expect it, and it might be a little bit sooner than you think. But more info will be coming, I think, as the egg hunt rolls out. I'll start to paint a pretty good picture, and we can start talking a little bit more about the School of Sorcery. But if you're looking to be prepared, it is a shadow arcane area. Both power types are used there. The beanstalk, or in the folklore forest in general, you can work on some arcane, some shadow upgrades. I guess not arcane. Floating islands would be arcane upgrades. So you might want to have a good shadow and arcane trap at the ready. The beanstalk gives you a pretty darn good shadow trap, right? So you might want to get those last golden eggs you need. The spring egg hunt is a good time to get a little extra boost here and there. When you crack open those eggs, you get some different supplies. So it's a good chance to just kind of get prepared for what comes next. It's great to see the M1000 actually grow into a thing. Kind of surreal, says Iggy. See your suggestion actually being a thing of the game. Hey, you suggested the M1000 once upon a time. Eh? It's a pretty good milestone. I don't really remember the origin of why we celebrated 400. Maybe we thought, this was how many more mice can there really be? This might be one of the final mice in the game. But I think we've learned our lesson and just assume it'll go forever. I imagine it won't, but we'll design under the assumption it'll go forever. Hey, Sonny, thanks. I'll slowly get caught up on this chat. How am I doing here? I better leave pretty soon. Jello, if we dust the map, do we get 2 solo scrolls? So I did sneak that in there, and Eagle-Eyed Hunters did spot there was another scroll case as the reward for doing the first map. I'll say no, you don't. You still don't get one. Alex, it's been amazing with the game running for 16 years. Hope your party is fun. Well, thank you. It'll be good to see everybody. Can we get a list of mice that might be on the map? Some things are best left as a surprise, wouldn't you think, Camel? What does everybody else think? I'll give a hint in that you can expect it to feel, similar level of difficulty as like an Elite Slayer. Or a lightning map. Lightning might be a little bit easier, but it's kind of think on that level. Just still leave it a little bit vague there. But it's a difficult map. That said, there are some, I think by the time you're a Viceroy, there's some fairly easy to capture mice on there, but narrative and themat, like the theming of the mice on the map is very consistent. But for example, I think Captain Croissant is a possible mouse on that map. Might be probably the easiest mouse on the map, but it does range, the mythical giant kings on the map as well. And there's a little bit of randomness as well, so it's not entirely predictable. Sid, glad to hear you enjoyed a few of the tweaks to the birthday event. That'll be some feedback we keep an eye on as well. The birthday event was only 2 weeks this year instead of 3. Some of that is that we do notice a little bit of event fatigue and, trying to find that sweet spot, right? Where, something feels short and sweet, but you still feel satisfied at the end of it. And two, just kind of the timing of the events in general, right? The spring egg hunt being a little bit earlier this year as well, just kind of compressed the birthday, Lunar New Year, just where everything lined up. There was a lot of events in a small window of time. Gordon saying law type in the school. No, it's arcane and shadow. So if you want to be prepared for the release of the School of Sorcery, which will probably sneak up on you, it's coming pretty soon, then I'd recommend using the egg hunt to try to finish up any arcane and shadow upgrades you're working on. Printing press paper might come in handy as well. That's never a bad idea to have. It will be an area in the Folklore Forest region, and the printing press base works throughout the Folklore Forest region. That said, it might be a little overkill in some spots, but there's still some tough mice that you might want to bring that base out for. Can we have an option to get printing press paper from the King's Cart? No plans for that, YX. It's going to be very tied to the region and not as tied to, say, mapping, which is where most King's credits come from. That would be make the paper extremely easy to get. So it's meant to be more of something that you earned in the Folklore Forest and then put it to use in the Folklore Forest. What will the rare map dust rate be from the M1000? Well, Potato, I'll say that's probably the least important thing in that scroll case. When I think about that, that's more kind of scrolls you might have a lot of is where that might play a role, but you're not opening them that often. That's just like at most other scrolls in the game, there is a chance. What time is it? I gotta go. Yep, Warden, MouseHunt can legally drive now. Yep. Thanks for the birthday wishes, John. Will the shattering mice be on this map since they're no longer allowed on pretty much anything else? I think, can't they still appear? I think they can still appear on Elite Slayer, so do with that information as you will. I could be wrong about that. My instinct tells me they can appear on the Elite Slayer, can't they? Or did we remove those? I'm getting emails like crazy. Holy smokes. Let's take a look. I'm just going to scroll through this map a little bit. What do we get? Choke it on some coffee. Here, we can do a little sneak peek. Again, subject to change. Everything in a test environment might change as we play test, but sometimes it's nice to share our work in progress. Like I always say, we keep our ears to the ground. It's good to get feedback. Look at this. Somehow I have not caught the abominable snow mouse in this spot. All right. Well, there we go. I got a dark magi is on this mouse. Oh, on this map. That may answer your question. The M400 is on this map. Zuriel is on this map. So there's a bit of a range, but you can kind of see the type of mice that appear on this map. Even from the abominable snow. I don't think I've... Oh, there's Captain Croissant. We should do the trivia as well. Here we go. Let's get to the trivia. That's a good way to cap things off. I don't want to go back to school. Hopefully this is a more fun school experience for you, Swift. School of Sorcery is coming. Is the birthday event coming back next year? Ryan's asking questions a year in advance. I don't know yet, to be honest. We don't quite have the means to plan quite that far ahead, Ryan. We'll have to wait and see. It is due. We have some ideas of how to maybe do the birthday event a little bit differently. But that said, we won't force a bad idea into existence just to replace something. So, if we don't have any stronger ideas by then, it probably would be the Super Brie Factory, but I don't know. It is, we have a good 12 months to think about it. Well, almost 12 anyway. Is the artillery commander on this map? So there's some mice that just never appear on maps. The artillery commander is one, and the heart of the meteor is another one. Anyone that you need a portal projector to hunt down, because if you don't have a portal projector and you can't buy one and blah blah blah, then you need to do a map before you can encounter that mouse. So they're just never on maps. Otherwise, you could really sort of get in, cart before the horse type problem here. There's an order of operations where you're almost done a map and you realize you got to throw it away to do another map to get the thing you need to get the mouse to finish the original map, if that all made sense. But let's see here, though. Today's trivia question, because I see some answers popping up in the chat, just like my horn has appeared again. After which event was the M400 released? So we've been looking ahead at the M1000, which will mark, it'll at least celebrate 1,000 mice in the game. It might not be exactly the 1,000th mouse. I think the M400, it worked out that it was literally the 400th mouse. But after what event was the M400 released? Because this will give a little bit of chronology to how long before there were another 600 mice. We're at the 45-minute mark here. That's usually when I lose my ability to speak. So that's a good cue to exit. I think Keem has the correct answer. Year of the Horse Festival, Lunar New Year 2014. Hugh, will there be the glitch pawn when you need 1 to silver it? Hugh, when this spring egg hunt starts... Here, actually, let's just quickly, in case you're just joining us, before we give the answer to this trivia question here. If you're just joining us, the glitch paw mouse will no longer be an event mouse as of March 19. So as of March 19, you can go to the lab and just hunt the glitch paw to your heart's content. Back to the trivia, though. What do we got here? Where's the answer? It was 2014. It was after a Lunar New Year event. And that version of Lunar New Year was Calamity Carl's Cozy Cruise. Because we're fans of alliteration. That was 10 years ago, all right? I'm pretty sure 2014 minus 20, or 2024 minus 2014 is 10, if my math checks out there. That was a decade ago this mouse was released, the M400. 10 years later, the M1000 is just about ready to make an appearance. I'll put this link in the chat as well so you can click it. Did somebody beat me to putting the link in there? I think YX should beat me, but then I think the YouTube bot removed it, because you can't post links. The link is in the chat for your clicking convenience as well. I already forget what the reward was. Let's go claim it myself. Okay, I remember. It's something to look forward to in the spring egg hunt. There's a few egg sweeper shovels there, and that Larry's gift today. 60 new non-event mice per year. Swift doing that quick division. Yeah, we released, I guess, 600 non-event mice over the last 10 years. That is 60 mice per year. That's higher than I thought it would be, actually. I didn't quite think about it that way before Swift, but that's actually a little bit surprising for me. 60 mice a year. That seems like a lot of mice. There's been some big areas, though. The floating islands. I'm pretty sure the Sunken City had the most mice in a single release until the floating islands. I think it beat the Sunken City. Sunken City has a lot of mice, though. Sometimes I forget just how many mice there are. Liam, by far the longest game you've ever played. You've been playing since 2009. Well, I'm glad you've been having fun for well over 10 years. It's an easy game to play for a long time. And that's something we always keep in mind when we're working on areas and events, is that's part of the charm of the game. Is it's just there, you can check on it throughout the day. It doesn't demand too much of your time or attention. There's a few things where, when you're in the mood, you can settle in and pay a little more close attention there, but it's not too hard to hit a button every 15 minutes or every hour or so. So you'd like a hot air balloon to tour. Naughty would be interesting, eh? Yeah, there's lots of opportunities. For some reason, the birthday event, it always has a nice theme if it reflects upon the history of the game. I like was it the 10th birthday? It was the time travel event. I was fond of that one. It was a good opportunity to explore time travel, go back in time, and look at the history of the game and the mice trying to rewrite the history of the game. What is your favorite spring egg hunt egg? I think it's the runny egg, because both its name is a pun, and then the illustration is just one of the cutest things ever. So I like the runny egg, I think, would be my favorite spring egg hunt egg. It's demanding your attention, eh? Well, on that note, I gotta get going. Like I said, we're having a bit of a get-together today. The dev team's gonna get together, have lunch together to celebrate 16 years of mouse hunting. It's fantastic just to think about and reflect all those, the moments we didn't ever think we'd be here at 16 years, and a lot of it has to do with you hunters as well. Just the vibrant, the amazing community that has formed over 10 plus years. Just seeing the friendships formed, the friendly chat. Often when it comes to multiplayer games, it's not so much the game, but it is about the friendships we make along the way. And it's a good time to reflect upon, why are games fun to begin with? Why do we play games? Why is that human nature? And it's because we like that human connection with others. It's fun to play with others. Whether you win or you lose, if it's a competitive game, the fun is in the journey, the shared journey that you have with your friends along the way. And I think that is a large reason why MouseHunt is still going for 16 years, is all the friendly people making those friendships in the world of Narnia. Matt's tearing up in the chat. YX, when will the next Feedback Friday be with me? I think Jacob will be back next Friday. Actually, he went to the UK birthday meet, so assuming that jet lag hasn't completely destroyed his psyche when he returns, I think you'll have Jacob next week, and then probably me the following week, although I don't have a calendar in front of me, so I can't say with certainty. Scratch and Dude, thanks for the well wishes. Thanks for playing. Iggy, Willie, likewise. Happy hunting, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks for joining me. And hopefully we have a wonderful 17th birthday celebration a year from now. Enjoy your weekend. Happy hunting, everybody. I'll see you next time.
You're a trap, don't seem to mind it. You attract me. I'm a mouse, you're a cat. I don't seem to mind it. Soft and furry. Oh, and just when I think I'm safe, snap. Turns out I'm never safe, snap. Just when you think you're safe, snap. I come back. You don't seem to mind it, but I'm a fool. Broke my back. You don't seem to mind it, 'cause you're so cool. And just when I think I'm safe, snap. Turns out I'm never safe, snap. Ooh. And just when you think you're safe, snap. Turns